of the latest filings in Charlie Adelson's case, since I don't have the time and ability to read all this. So this is the judge's order on Charlie's motions in limine. Nothing really surprising since we've all heard the hearing, thanks to Deep Dive True Crime. So this kind of gets me, though, that people keep misspelling Dolce Vita. It is D-O, not D-U. Okay, so they do get granted regarding the alleged hearsay testimony from Jeff about Wendy saying that Charlie had looked into all options. Okay, they wanted to keep out the divorce filings. That's denied. Call from Charlie's old attorney to law enforcement. That's going to be kept out. And here's the interesting thing. They're making a big deal over this comment that June supposedly said about Donna. So we'll take a look at Charlie's response. Okay, so very quick order here. Let's look at Charlie's response. Okay, so they're fighting pretty hard over this. So, I mean, it looks like he's still protective of his former clients, obviously. Okay, so basically, this is slightly over a page long, where they're saying that this has nothing to do with Charlie's state of mind. Comments made by Adelson were made before arrests were made. Okay, I don't have their response right here. There's a typo there. State can't show that Donna's statement had any bearing on Charlie's statement of mind. It's irrelevant and should be excluded. Okay, so that's Ratchbaum's argument. So let me just plug my channel here and show you guys this former live stream where we read that portion. Actually, we read the whole transcript in 2 parts here. So hopefully this shows up and can be heard.
Did you hang out with this family, like the family as a whole, after all this broke in the media?
What?
Mom and dad?
I know you went with mom and dad. Did you hang out with dad or the family after? After things broke and everything was weird? How was the family dynamic at that point afterwards?
I mean, I think the dad held it together, but the mom was a mess a lot. Like when I saw her one night, she was up crying and her face was swollen. And Charlie said she has to be on like painkillers or medication because she's so stressed. And we had a talk outside, the mom and I, on the balcony. And she was just saying that this is all awful. And, crying and saying, she said she feels like Dan's back from the grave, like haunting them or something.
Really?
Grow power. What do people say?
Okay, so that's interesting because the transcript says them, that Dan is haunting them, not Dan is haunting her. But the state, as well as Ratchbaum, keep going with June saying that Donna said Dan is still haunting her from the grave. But even if she really did say them, the question is, does that refer to Charlie? Not necessarily. She could have just been referring to her and Harvey. So given what the judge said on Monday, he said he was already inclined to keep that part out. So I think it probably is going to be excluded as just being irrelevant in terms of Charlie. He wasn't there. There were no phone calls right before or after the so-called statement. So anyway, not a big loss. Other big news is that Donna and Harvey, they are fighting tooth and nail. They don't want to have to be interviewed. So let's take a look at what their attorney recently filed. And I'll just scroll through it because I really do have to get back to work here. Caring about Dan Markel, I got to get back to work. Take care. Have a great day.